Week number 6 of the college football season continues today, and guys, through 5 weeks, you realize the favorites are only 18 games over 500. The home favorites, just 14 games over the break-even point. Road favorites, just 7 games over 500 so far. This is not good news, guys. As I always tell you, when the favorites aren't hitting at least a 60% clip, that means one of two things. Sports books are making a hell of a lot of money, and generally you, the gambling public, you're losing your shirts because basic human nature finds that everybody is inclined to lean toward the favorites. Here's another instance for you. Double-digit favorites, usually money in the bank early in the college football season when the lines are soft. Not this year, guys. 69 and 58. Yes, they're 11 games over 500. But 11 games over 500 through 5 weeks of play, not real good. And 10 outright losers among those double-digit chalks, 2 of them going down last week. Rutgers losing at home to Tulane. How embarrassing, right? And Central Michigan getting hammered against Ball State. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here, and this is going to be your Saturday video report, and I've got 3 free picks coming your way. I'm going to break down the California-UCLA game, Notre Dame, Pittsburgh, Temple, and Northern Illinois. Those 3 plays coming your way in just a moment. As you know, 4 straight winning weeks in college football, 4 straight winning Saturdays as well, 10 3-1 college football roll entering the weekend. And let's get started with your first game, California and UCLA. Now, the Bears are coming off a bye. Prior to that, they lost in Tucson to Arizona 10-9. Before that, remember that nationally televised tilt on Friday night? They got hammered at Nevada 52-31. That's an important game in consideration of this contest when you're handicapping it, because Nevada's pistol attack, that unique offense they run, 316 yards among their over 500 total yards in that game. And again, they put 52 points on the board. Now, UCLA runs the pistol attack as well, but it's the first year for Rick Neuheisel's team to run that offense. On the ground, it is certainly produced. During their current 3-game winning streak, they've averaged 321 yards a game on the ground. The difference, however, between UCLA's pistol and Nevada's pistol is you don't have to worry about the Bruins throwing the ball. They just can't throw the ball. They haven't shown any consistency throwing the ball. Sure, you've got to respect the Bruins for what they did in Austin against Texas a couple of weeks ago, but as we've seen, are the Longhorns any good? Okay, and who else did they beat? Houston, when they knocked out Case Keenum, the Houston quarterback, early in the contest, and his backup as well. Washington State, they struggled with that lousy team last week at home. This is still the same UCLA team that lost 31-22 at Kansas State early in the season. Same UCLA team that got hammered at home by Stanford 35-0. The home team has won 9 of the last 10 games in this series, and the home team's on an 8-3-1 ATS run in this series as well. Meanwhile, California's covered 10 of its last 12 in Berkeley, 14 of its last 18 Pac-10 home games as well. I say go ahead and lay the points with California here. Don't look back. They bounce back, coming off the bye and 2 straight losses with the big-time win. As for me today, I've got my Big Ten game of the year going, guys, on Michigan and Michigan State. You know I have not lost a play involving these 2 teams so far this season, and it's a 15-dime release. And that's going to be my highest-rated play. As you know, 99% of my plays are rated between 5 and 15 dimes. 15-dime college releases. I've had 2 of them so far this season. A couple of Thursdays ago, Miami of Florida laying 3.5 at Pittsburgh. They won 31-3. Last Thursday, cashed in with Oklahoma State at home against Texas A&M. 15-dime plays, guys, same ones, and I'm 28-10 in NFL over the past 3 years combined. These are my bread and butter plays. It goes today. Michigan State, Michigan, my Big Ten game of the year, 15-dime winner, number 3 in a row, plus 2 5-dime bonuses for you. Alabama, South Carolina, NC State, Boston College as well. All 3 of them available right now. As for your next free pick, let's head out to South Bend. Notre Dame hosting Pittsburgh. Notre Dame, you went with them last week as a free pick because I told you after battling Michigan, Michigan State, and Stanford, it was a big step down in class for them to go to Boston College. They would roll easily, and they did, 31-13. This is another step-down game for them as well against an overrated, let's go further than that. It's a bad Pittsburgh team. That's why I went against them against Miami of Florida at home a couple weeks ago. Quarterback for Notre Dame, Dane Chris, certainly getting the job done, averaging 272 yards passing a game, 10 touchdowns already. Pittsburgh beat Florida International last week. Big deal, 44-17. They struggled for half the game. Deion Lewis, their top running back from a year ago, didn't play in that game, but it was okay because Ray Graham stepped in and ran for 277 yards. But again, it was Florida International. Quarterback for Pittsburgh, Tino Sunseri. Tried to say that 3 times quickly. Just not getting the job done. I know the road team has covered 5 straight in the series. I know Notre Dame has covered only 9 times in its last 33 home games. I don't care. I say go with the Irish here. They've covered 9 of the last 12 in the series. They're the better team. They need to start winning games. I told you last week, the bloom is off. You know, the honeymoon period's over for Brian Kelly. They've got to win. They get the job done here today. Your final free pick is going to be Northern Illinois and Temple. Now, the Huskies are a 3-point home chalk in this game, and home is the key word here because last week they won at Akron 50-14, laying 13.5 points, accumulating 520 yards in total offense. They have played 4 of their first 5 games on the road, losing, in fact, to Iowa State and Illinois. Nothing to be embarrassed about there. And then they did beat Minnesota on the road. So here's the deal with Northern Illinois. They have a very underrated quarterback. Not a great passer, but he is completing 69% of his passes, 6 touchdowns on the season. But he's also a dual threat because he can run the ball. Chandler Harnish is his name. He's averaging 7.2 yards per carry. They also have the #1 running back in the Mid-American Conference, Chad Spann, 542 yards rushing, 5.6 yards per carry. Now, Temple playing its 3rd straight road game. They should have beaten Penn State. Last week, they were darn lucky to come back against Army. Cadets up in that one, 28-13. Temple not only rallied, but they covered as a 6-point road chalk, 42-35. Matt Brown was huge, stepping in for the injured Bernard Pierce, 226 yards and 4 touchdowns. Yes, Temple's on an 11-5 ATS road run, but I'm telling you, Northern Illinois is the way to go here. It came this close to being a premium play for me today, but again, you buy down half point on Northern Illinois, making them down to 2.5. As I always tell you, you definitely, when the line crosses 3, 4, 7, and sometimes 10, that's when you buy the insurance and buy down the half point. It's paid for me. Oklahoma State against Texas A&M, Michigan State against Notre Dame. It'll pay for you. It's pennies on the dollar. It's a wise investment strategy. And again, 4 straight winning Saturdays, 4 straight winning weeks. Big Ten game of the year going today. My bread and butter release of 15-9 play. Winner number 3 in a row, Michigan State, off of Miami and Florida over Pittsburgh, off of Oklahoma State over Texas A&M, plus 5 bonuses, South Carolina and Alabama, NC State and Boston College. Get them all now, guys. Right now, that's your lineup. And remember, tomorrow I'll be back with your Sunday NFL freebies.